think we got that taken care of now. Type 22 if you could hear the boy. Why? Okay. Type 22 if you can hear and if you can see. What about the people in Rumble? Can they see you?
I'm talking to them, yeah. I mean, oh.
Ben, can you hear us? Let us know if you can hear us still. Let us know if you can see or hear us, guys. Should be able to now. Lost Tate. I need to get to church. Yeah, bro. Do that shit. Good.
Hey, that just went off.
It's dedication.
Is that thing? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Just keep talking to these people.
Mm-hmm. Okay. They're page and it's 22.
Okay. Well, we should be in good shape.
Yep, look, here we are.
All right, guys. Let's go. Song number 3. Sorry for the delay. Shout out to all my beautiful people on Twitter.
Let me grab that timestamp again.
Yeah, we're gonna redo the timestamp. Shout out my beautiful people on Twitter. We definitely want to see y'all. Definitely want to see y'all.
Yep,
sorry for the hiccup.
100%. 100%.
Sorry for the hiccup.
All right. Okay, so we were at 101.
Dethroner in this bitch.
Oh,
yeah,
it
we're
restarted
at
completely.
Yeah, it's
so
got
it's another
it's got a
video?
second thing up. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay.
Ready?
I'm gonna text you that timestamp because.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, let's go. Song number 3. What's the title for song number 3? Do you know?
Yes, I do. Song number 3. Oh yeah, Megadeth 1320.
1320.
Let's check it out.
Megadeth. Let's do it. There it is.
Fire breathing stampede.
my goodness. This is in and out, and boom.
Okay.
According to the big homie Grizz.
I didn't hear that dun, 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 until you pointed it out. That's the thing. If you don't play the instrument, it just becomes like one wall of sound that you're like, this sounds great together. It's exciting, but you don't hear the individual notes necessarily, or I don't. Maybe the rest of you do.
No, the rest of you non-guitarists, you're beneath me.
Yep.
You'll be below me in the kingdom. Whatever it is I said that was truthful, but you thought was funny.
Okay. Grinding my teeth, white knuckles grasped at the wheel, I rushed for an avalanche of adrenaline. Speaking of avalanche, that reminds me of an iceberg, and I saw these two people on an iceberg. I don't know what the frick that they were doing, but they were literally banging it with stuff, and then all of a sudden the iceberg literally flipped over. I thought that they were going to drown, but the water pushed them out.
The iceberg flipped over?
The iceberg flipped over, like completely one-ended itself.
God. I should have. Okay.
I'm telling you, the world is so much more exciting with people having iPhones, because you knew this kind of shit was happening all over the place. You just didn't. You couldn't see it. You only had the videos that were captured from your family. You know, on your big camera. Remember those big cameras that sit on their shoulders?
Yeah, well, we didn't have those.
Oh.
You didn't see a lot of you didn't see a lot of folks in the ghettos with camcorders. On top of that, it's like, yo, what are you doing? There's got to be some illegal shit happening at some point. What are you doing with a camera? You're doing some police shit, bro.
Oh my word! I remember when my mother had that big thing.
Yeah, we didn't even want people using our real names. We used to say, "Yo, don't use my government name."
Don't use my government.
Yeah, it's your government name.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when they process you and shit, and you're like, "What's your name?" It's like, "My name's Poopy." Like,
Vincent.
nah, what's your government name? Yeah, to say Vincent. What does it say? They say, "What does it say on your license?" I was like, "I don't got a license. I take a train, bitch. I don't."
You didn't.
I don't. But I had a school pass. You know. I was like, yeah, with the school pass, I don't got that on me, obvious.
All right, he says, it doesn't get any better than this. It just feeds my need for speed. Supercharged, strapped in, and screaming.
There's a classic car game, and it's literally called Need for Speed.
Right? Yeah. One time, my cousin and my brother and I all took a trip from Maine to Florida. We drove the whole thing, which we thought was like really crazy because we did it in a short amount of time. That's because I hadn't met Vinny yet. Who literally will drive that shit straight for his family. But we'll leave that story to the side. Anyway, so we were driving this, and on the way there, my cousin had an Audi, which I guess at the time I don't really know anything about cars, but that was like considered like a pretty good car. I don't know. And there was like this straightaway. If you're young and you're listening to this, please learn from my stupidity. So we're driving, and my cousin's like, yo, we should try to see if we can, like, how fast can we actually go? I'm like, okay. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, he was the driver. We had the GPS. The GPS used to actually clock.
This is Jay?
Yes.
You took this word from Jay? That's
Can you believe it? But the thing is,
it's fascinating to me.
This is the one thing that I realized. People will make excuses for why they did the shit that they did, and they might want to put the blame on other people, but when it comes down to it, if you did it, there was a part of you that wanted to participate in that shit. And there was a part of me that wanted to see how fast we could make the car go.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like the Autobahn over here.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, obviously
we had a complete straightaway.
Some of that energy in there.
Yeah, so I'm not going to blame him. He came up with a stupid ass idea. And he was the oldest one in the situation. He shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But I had my baby brother, which I call him baby brother. He's 4 years younger than me. So if I was in my early 20s, he was, but still, he was younger than me.
Brother.
Yeah, definitely younger than me. And so we take off, and he's pushing it. I had no clue how high he was trying to go. I know we went over 100, and I know that it felt a little bit ridiculous based on the road that we were at. But I was thinking the road is straight. I didn't think about an animal randomly coming in the way, a fucking turtle being on the road, a random tire, a shovel, anything that falls off somebody else's vehicle. Like, there's so many things that I was not thinking about. And I'll tell you, if we had done that and something tragic, I was actually praying when it was happening because it did feel a little bit like maybe we're testing fate a little bit too much. But anyway, if something would have happened and my brother would not have walked out of that vehicle, because I didn't shut it down. I'm just glad that God, kept that car on the road because he was 16 friggin' years old or whatever. It was a crazy situation. But yeah, I because he wasn't even old enough, like he wasn't considered an adult to even make any of his own decisions. But anyway, I'm like looking back at that situation, I'm like crazy, but it did feel fun when the car was going at that ridiculous speed. It just did. And I was like, I don't even think I had a seatbelt on because I was like, at this speed, does it really even matter? I remember holding the two seats, the like driver and passenger seat, and I was like in the middle, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And then we realized that the GPS actually belonged to my parents, and the GPSs back then would clock your speed, and it like said what your average top speed was. So it was clocked over whatever 100, 120, whatever stupid thing we were doing. Yeah, my parents actually, I don't think ever found that. And saw that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's not like that report would get sent to their phones or something like that.
No, it was like in the system. So if you went on your average, how long have you taken your trips, blah blah blah, and all that stuff. But
I used to kind of be into drag races, and the reason is that I didn't really. I mean, I still don't like the Daytona 500 or whatever. They just keep driving around the track, and I guess they count it out like. Like for example, like 4 times around the track is a mile. So you're just going around and around and around. I'm like, how's that exciting? I didn't really understand. But the drag racing doesn't last very long. It's like 5 seconds. It's literally like, and like they have this nitro thing that makes them go. Actually,
are you talking about street ones, or are you talking about like an event?
Well, the Daytona 500 is like the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Of that thing, right?
Right, so. But I mean, I saw Fast and Furious. You talked about coming from New York. I don't know. I don't know if we're talking about.
I literally started off saying the Daytona 500.
Yeah, you did for the drag race going around and stuff like that. But then you're also talking about nitro.
Daytona 500 is not drag racing.
Yeah, I know. That's the racing in the circles.
Oh, you just called it drag racing.
Okay, you talked about drag racing and you talked about Daytona 500. So I didn't know if you were talking about drag racing that you saw happen like in New York, like Fast and the Furious type shit.
Well, I said when I was a kid.
So it is.
I was a kid in New York.
Oh.
Well, maybe if I finish, you might have some clarity.
It was just a question. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just saying that, like, I didn't understand the Daytona 500 because you're just going around and around on a track. Whereas with drag racing, like I said, it's only 5 seconds. It's like A to B, whoop, and then they got the little nitro thing of a jiggy, and depending on where you put the nitro thing, it's like, so I would watch that like, okay, that I understand that a little bit more because there's like a clear winner and a clear loser. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And one was faster than the other. But then I thought to myself, like, yeah, but I mean, isn't it? Because it's just like a straight line. Drag racing, it's not like they're going around a track or whatever. It looks, to me anyway, it looks like from A to B, and whoever crosses the line earliest wins the drag racing whatever competition. But I'm like, how do you apply skill to that? Isn't it just you pressing down on the accelerator as high as possible, and then you put the nitro in when you think you want to burst the speed? How does that get you to be like a professional? I never really understood that, but that's drag racing. It's like you can go to as fast as you possibly can for this short amount of time, and I'm sure it must be like a crazy feeling because I think those cars. Help me out, Ben, but those cars I think go like the fastest of all the cars.
Wouldn't it be like one is the element of like the driver, but 2 is whoever is putting the car together and how he maneuvers it. I mean, talking about like how can you make the car the lightest while whatever. Like,
right, like I said, like I don't, like I have no understanding whatsoever of that like profession or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, there's got to be something because like every little subculture has its Michael Jordan. So I'm sure there's a Michael Jordan of drag racing, or whatever. It's just I just don't know enough about the sport. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Shout out to Waldo for being in here for show. 4 cylinders of fury. Right. That's the thing. It's like cylinders. I hear about 6-cylinder, 4-cylinder. Really don't know what that is, but I think it has to do with like how much capacity the thing has to go faster. Like I really don't know, but if I was gonna do one of those things, I would actually do the Daytona 500 type of thing. Because that to me is like more fun because like you're driving around. I mean, they're going like over 100 miles an hour and they're just going around and around. And I can see where you need skill for that because like you have to negotiate the turn. It's
Get
dangerous.
around people.
Whereas with drag racing, it's just like, phew. Top fuel is the fastest.
I still don't understand where this takes place. You're saying at the Daytona 500 place, they also do drag racing?
I don't know where they do drag racing. I just
when
know
you
that
were a kid, where were you seeing it?
know.
On the TV?
On TV. I just know it's a different kind of racing than Daytona because the Daytona. I think it's called stock car. I think what we're looking at in Daytona 500 is like stock cars, and then drag cars. I'm not sure. I'm waiting for Lost Tape or whatever. To inform us. How many pistons in the engine? Okay, so it's like 4-cylinder versus 6-cylinder.
Yeah.
So 6-cylinder has 6 pistons, and then go ahead.
One time, okay. So again, Maine is friggin' boring. We were teenagers, and we were all out driving in a car, and then we saw there was a parking lot full of like other cars. They were like cool cars, and cool for Maine.
Cool cars?
Yeah, they were cool cars for Maine. You know, they weren't like, they were kind of like the low rider type situations that you could only use for a very short amount of time. And anyway, so we pulled in because again, my cousin he sold cars and he always dealt with cars. So he always had like different cars. Well, this time he had a Mustang, which we thought was like top notch, like super, super cool. And so we drive up and we're like talking to these people or whatever. And I remember these girls came over and they were like, oh, you know, like making a big deal about his car and stuff. And one of the girls
about
was
his
like,
Mustang?
Yeah. She was like, so is this like a V6 or a V8? And I really didn't know the difference. And he was like, he was driving. He said it doesn't matter what it is. I drive it like it's a V8. And then he went, vroom, and he like revved that thing. And I saw both those girls' eyes light up. I said, well played. Well played.
There's a legal version of drag racing where they have these torpedo-looking cars that do 1320. Holy shit.
1320?
1,320 miles an hour. SubhanAllah.
Oh my gosh.
You would get from...
How long would the track have to be for that?
I mean, Maine to Florida is 1,500 miles.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So, they would be here in like an hour and 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's
but
like,
how long is the
crazier.
track to even be able to race them?
That's crazier than the airplane, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's wild.
That's insane.
Man, your friggin' face and everything.
Well, the G4, I mean, now you're dealing with, you know, what is that, Mach 1, Mach 2? Like, that's it.
Oh, that's crazy. You think you feel sick after
you now have, you have to, I mean, that must feel like a workout. Like, people don't understand that. Like, when we're dealing with those G-forces and things like that, you got to be in real shape. Because your body's like, you're trying to keep everything together and shit. And you're going out there and you got all that pressure pushing you back. Mm-hmm. Whew, that must be crazy. I was about to go into one of those things because when I was a kid and we were in Florida, they had this like Cape Canaveral like student exchange thing with the you know, NASA and all this stuff. And like they put you through the things that they put the scientists through, you know, the little twisty thing to get you nauseous to deal with the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to prepare you.
Yeah, I never went to that thing though. And I'm glad I didn't.
Why?
It's just not the type of shit that would have been fun for me. I always got sick. I always got nauseous. People had horror stories about kids throwing up, puking, all types of shit. Because it was like these things are like roller coaster rides, but they're really not because they're really there to replicate some pretty harsh conditions, relative to, you know, being out in space and all that shizzle whizzle. But like at the same time though, it's 1320, so that's where 1320 is coming from. Yeah, because you've got torpedo looking cars that can go to 1320. God, that's what I'm saying.
And
If you can only have that experience for like 5 or 6 seconds a pop, you know what I'm saying? It must be like such a crazy feeling. Because like, Google how long like a drag racing track is. Yeah. It's just like I said. From what I saw, it was just a straight shot, just a straight line. But I don't know. Maybe there's the standard distance for drag racing is 1,320 feet or a quarter of a mile. But some tracks are shorter or longer. So that's crazy. So it's 1320 feet, which is the name of the song. 1320 to go to the finish line. But it's also, you've got cars that can now do 1320 an hour, which is basically designed to cover that space in what, 2 or 3 seconds?
I actually love like drag races when you go and they just like the vehicles take off, and you literally feel it inside your chest. It's going so fast. Like it's similar to like when you go to
Wait, you've been to one of those things?
Yeah.
So why were you asking all these questions about drag racing?
I wanted to know where you saw it. I knew the difference between the two. That's what you were misunderstanding what I was saying. I wanted to know where you saw it. Did you? Because I didn't know if it was like an event that you went to, or if you saw it like in the Fast and the Furious on the street.
Well, bless God, we can look at it again.
Anyway, that's what I was wondering. I wanted to know if you saw it in New York, like the Fast and the Furious show.
Look at it again when it's on. What's the problem?
I didn't say anything was a problem, but that was my curiosity because I've seen the drag racing thing. I'm like, did you see this in New York? Is they have drag racing in New York?
There we go. Okay, so no, Vin, it's not.
It seems like it'd be fun to see it on the street.
It's not 13:20 an hour. Sorry for the confusion. Speed is in the 300s a quarter of a mile. Okay. There we go. That makes a lot of sense because I'm like, they would cover that shit in like 1 second, right? I'm horrible at math. That must be so fun though. Like very, very dangerous, I'm sure, but that must be really fun to like get up to 300 miles an hour. God.
The noise that it makes.
Well, that's the other thing too. Is like they're really like, you know, that especially the people that work in the pit crew. That's got to be, you know, how like dudes come back from the military or whatever, like their ears are all fucked up. You know, the equilibrium's all off. You know what I'm saying? Because they get too much TBI or whatever. A lot of those students get misdiagnosed TBI. It's really like the fluids in your ears are all completely destroyed. They start congealing you. Like it'll basically, if you hear too many of those things, it opens up a cavity down there, and then you know the fluids get stuck in that cavity, and then the cavity scar tissue's over. So like you're really, really fucked up. Dudes get really, you know, whatever. It sounds like TBI, whatever, but it's really not. You get to do surgery. It's horrible situation.
Surgery?
Yeah, because they got to go out there and they got to undo that scab, and then they got to drain that liquid so that you can maintain your equilibrium again. Because dudes can't even stand up. They can't stand up. They can't talk. People think they're having strokes. All types of shit. So it's like that fluid in your ears, man. Like that. That's just crazy. It's like it makes you realize like how fragile human beings are. Like you see these great giant warriors who are like legendary warriors, and like it's like half of whatever, like half a teaspoon or whatever of fluids is completely getting this guy like completely out of the picture. Wow. Like out of the picture.
That's crazy.
This shit's crazy. But like that's always a dichotomy in this life is like all the shit that's like the most fun, you know, puts your life in danger. And so it's like that's a really weird thing to have to deal with it, like especially as men. Like it's like if you listen, there's like a common theme through all these songs, right? And it's speed, it's man and machine, and you know the idea theoretically was we invented machines to basically as a slave labor force, right? Like so that's kind of the idea is like you're gonna work for us, we're not gonna pay you, right? We're just gonna maintain you. That's why like even in computers, like they got this is a slave or whatever because the thing is just working over and over again. So this sort of like an evolutionary, you know, natural selective reasoning for why you need that type of thing. But then it's like for why you would need machines and create machines because it promotes survival and human flourishing, whatever. But when you look at things like drag racing, it's like this is one of the things that separates us from other beings is that it's no longer a survival mechanism that we're using because of selection pressures. Now we're turning it into something fun. We're turning it into a sport. And you're turning it into something where you're playing. And even though you might die, everybody's... that is like a weird thing to me. Like, yo, like... What is it about us that, like, makes us so desperate for that thrill? Because those thrills, I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. They don't last. They don't last for long. You know, whether it's like you go into space or whatever, like it doesn't... You know what I'm saying? But, like... I'm sure, like, getting behind that wheel and all that other shit we just said is true, but I'm sure once these guys get behind the wheel and they know all that power, like, they're sitting on all that power, like, you're sitting on a rocket ship. Like,
it makes you, it's...
all the shit becomes worth it, I'm assuming. Go ahead.
Similar to, like, drugs in a way. Because
100%.
It's like, you know, people be putting themselves on the edge
100%.
and, like, how much of this can I take without killing myself?
Right.
While at the same time getting a thrill in my life.
Right. Yeah, and that's dudes like get addicted to combat, and they have a real chemical dependency on it because you've got serotonin and epinephrine and all these things that are getting released and flooding your bloodstream.
Sure.
The hypervigilance, the shakes that you get. Your body still doesn't know that you're in a green zone, like you're safe. Like there's a lot of that shit, and everybody like all of it. Like I feel it a little bit like sometimes on Fortnite when like I'm like running away from like if I get into a gunfight with somebody, I'm running away from a person, and like that like eventually they're gonna hit you unless and sometimes you get away, but it's that kind of feeling where you definitely don't want to be caught, but like it's very like whoa, like shit's getting crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well, very interesting song. I mean, it fits the theme that we keep going for, and
yeah, I really haven't figured that out about the human condition, like, and I don't know if it seems to be a Western human condition thing where like we've got the need to like push everything to the craziest degree, and like I don't know where that comes from, and I don't know how universal or non-universal that idea is, or that mindset is.
Yeah.
It's like I've got to get this speed. I got to get this crazy feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like Americans seem to be more like we seem to be more self-conscious about our desire to please ourselves. I think is the thing. Like Americans are like, I have a need for speed, whereas like other contexts are different. Like,
well, we've got an extra time because of the way that we have structured our society. I would think, like, I mean, part of the reason is we don't have Americans that might bomb us. You know what I mean? Like, we're relatively safe over here, so maybe that changes things. Like, if you're a pine nut farmer and you're just trying to struggle for your survival, and then here comes the Americans bombing the hell out of you, and that, like, changes things, you know?
Another big thing, this is going to sound really abstract, but a lot of big thing is, like, when the UK, when the Brits used to do war, the generals and all that jazz were, like, clearly distinguished from the common man. And there were these gentleman rules of warfare that you would not target. And the Americans like, man, fuck that. I'm going to hide in this tree. We're going to take out your general right now, bro. We don't care. Like,
I never understood.
But it's that whole, like,
gentleman rules of warfare.
And that's
Are we
the
just
reason.
Trying to win,
that's the reason they lost control of the world, in my view, is because they had these strange like rules of like there's ways to do combat. It's like.
It's like Washington when they put a sign up that says that there's no weapons allowed in this area. Like, really? Yeah. Everybody whoever obeys that rule is somebody that's probably not going to shoot up the place anyway.
So no disrespect to the UK, but like they're not going to come up with a sport like drag racing. You see what I'm saying? Because we're the Americans are the ones that are like, yo, I'm in tune with how I feel. I don't give a fuck. This is not propriety. We don't like y'all. We're just going to find your general. We're going to kill him. Oh. Like we don't care if you say that we did it in a dishonorable fashion. We don't care. We just want to win. And like that mentality, like when they were playing, I forgot some song when they were giving us over the colonies or whatever. It's basically the world is turned upside down. It's like slaves are ruling their kings or something like that. Like that's what the British played as they were handing us over the keys to it. So it's like, yeah, I just think that Americans are just a lot more like we're taught to be more honest with ourselves and to like try to max everything out. We're and like until you go into other countries and shit, you don't really realize like we're really unique people in the world. I'm not saying it's for good or for ill, but I'm telling you we're different from everybody. And we're socialized different, and most of us won't know it because we won't deal with other other countries or whatever. But there's a big difference, and the other thing is you can always tell an American. Even if the guy's got an accent, he does his accentuation pretty good, I can still always tell an American. You can just tell.
But based off of the attitude or what?
Yeah, the attitude, the walk, the sense of entitlement. Americans are very like, this is hard to explicate, but we're very in touch with our feelings and our what we want more than normal. So it's like, oh, these people, they just attacked us, blah, 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 blah. So if you're on the ground, I'm going to dead check you. And I don't care if my man dead checked you. I don't care if 9 people dead checked you. I got those people falling out of the towers in my head. I'm gonna fuck. I'm gonna put some shit in you. It's not like that over there. And the boys are like, well, he's off, mate. Say a little, rest in peace to the homie and all the rest of it. Americans aren't like that, man. We just, Yeah. So like, this is one of those things where like I don't think drag racing really does anything unless Americans do it. I'm gonna look at who invented it, but if we didn't invent it, we certainly perfected it. What do you give it?
9.1. 9.1.
1320. Was this all from the same record? Because I'm seeing a theme.
9.2.
We're seeing theme. The first song was just like you're just driving fast, screwing shit up, right? And then the second song was the jumping out the airplane thing, and this one was drag racing. So I don't know what we have left after that. Speedboats. I don't know. You're gonna have to check out the next song on the other side of this break, dear listener. Vin out.
Sorry, out.
Gone. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at anecdotes@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
Rubbish. That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSorry. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sorry and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy merch indeed. And Charles shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Hey, Lost Hate said something really cool here.
Which is?
He said most car racing came from bootleggers and mobsters making cars fast so they could have getaway vehicles, etc.
Yeah, because
right?
I heard that I don't know if this is true, but I heard that they made it so that way the vehicles could only go so fast, so the police cars could always go faster. But then that's when people started figuring out ways to make their vehicles.
Yeah, and then if they could put governors on your car to where you can't go past a certain. That's what happened to Biggie's crew when Biggie got hit.
Yeah.
And the dude went to chase him. The governor was set like at 100 miles an hour or something like that, and it stopped the car. But that's crazy. Like, hey, shout out to Middle Earth. That's crazy to me that like you got. But again, like this is the American way, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, we're gonna do prohibition, blah blah blah. So like, oh, alcohol distribution had to go underground and shit. And these people are like, all right, let's come up with vehicles. Let's come up with vehicles that can outrun the cops. That's you want to talk about natural selection pressures? Holy shit, that's incredible to me. That's not something you're supposed to brag about as an American, but I just love our ability, man. Like we're all. This is the reason we rule the world. I mean, it's terrible as far as like ruling the world goes, like the way we do it. But I'm just sorry, man. I just love this country, bro. Because like you cannot. An American will find a way.
Yep.
We're gonna find a way.
Okay,
so,
I am giving you the link for this. We're gonna listen to this last song, and then once we listen to the song, we're gonna put that link. It's coming through your text. We're gonna put that link that's gonna give them the opportunity to vote, because when we finish listening to the song, they can go vote, and then at the end of our reaction to the song, we'll look at what the score is.
That's okay. So Ben said I just pieced them together. to make this Don't Drive while listening playlist. Yeah, this one, like, we're just gonna create a Megadeth playlist for this one, and we'll just put Don't Drive while, we're gonna just literally name it after what he said.
All right, you guys.
All right.
I put the little link there. Don't vote yet because we're gonna listen to the last song, but I don't know if you can. You'll have to get it from your text messages and maybe put it in Restream or something.
Get what?
The link for the poll. Or you guys go on, if you want to do the voting, go on Vin and Story Patreon.
I mean, just go to it's in Rumble, right? It's in
it's in Rumble. I put it on Rumble.
You gotta wait. It's a clickable link over there.
Yeah, that's right. Go to Rumble.
All right, guys.
All right, here we go.
What's the name of this song?
The last song on our list tonight is Fast Lane by the band
Megadeth. Do we have the lyrics? Recent lyrics?
I will get it to you. 3643.
Just let me know.
Let you know what?
You know when you're ready?
I'm ready. I'm so ready.
Okay. All right, and then we got the timestamp, right?
Yep, already done.
All right, you beautiful people. Here we go. Song numero 4. The last one is Fastlane, Megadeth. Let's do it. Megadeth, all right.
My speed becomes relentless, congesting all my senses, while life's appearing faster, prompting death and disaster. I hear the engine screaming, I'm burning up the fast lane, like a jet plane, like a freight train. I'm driving insane, addicted to the fast lane,
Done again! Damn you, Dave Mustaine! Well,
All right, you guys, don't forget to go over to Patreon and cast your votes.
Shout out to
for
Big
whichever
Homie.
Song is the one for the night for
Shout
you.
out to Big Bro, Middle Earth. What's good, baby? Glad to see you, homie.
Yes. Middle, you didn't hear incorrectly. We got a strike on our main channel because I put up a short that was rejected for policy violations.
It was a wonderful short. The fascists over there.
It was a prank, but, you know. Anyway.
Ridiculous.
I thought it was, you know, I put up one short with, like, this old man that ends up pulling a gun on the person. Like, literally a gun, and the guy was intoxicated when he did it.
Right.
Fine. But the prank was no good.
They still yellow moneyed you.
They yellow moneyed me, but they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't give us a
shut us down
strike.
for a week.
I mean, it was
a little
to be fair,
poor taste.
To be fair,
Poor taste, perhaps.
It was an Islamic terrorist. It's basically this guy shows up in a classroom.
Oh, good. We're gonna tell him.
Throws his book bag, and then everybody in the classroom runs away because, you know.
Yeah, but I believe that he dressed up looking a certain way on purpose.
He's Islamic.
He like walks in and he looks around at all the students, and then he just like throws the backpack, and then everybody books it out.
Everybody gets out of there. I'm sure one of the Muslim dudes complained about it.
It said it's only a prank, and then it says the prank, and then you see the scene. Anyway, all right, you guys, another Megadeth song. This one is called Fast Lane. Hold on, let me pull up this one. I mean, it's literally the same thing. I mean, this is somebody being behind the wheel. I do agree, Ben, that I'm not so sure it would be good to listen to these songs while you're driving.
Hell no.
I feel like...
Especially this one.
It may influence you to just get a little heavy on the pedal there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, literally, like... yeah.
Okay. My supersonic machine, get out of my... You know what? That is one thing I remember driving way too fast as a teenager. One time my best friend at the time and I were coming back from Portland back to the town we lived in, which was about a 45-minute drive. But we were trying to... My parents were very strict about the curfew. You couldn't be a minute late. You could not be a minute late. You're going to be in trouble. So we always would stay way too long wherever we were and just push that envelope. So then we'd like roll in. And so she was trying to get me there for curfew. Plus she was also testing her vehicle. You know, making sure the accelerator worked. And like...
That's what you call it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're like driving and it was dark. And all of a sudden this friggin' beam of white light just engulfs our entire vehicle. I looked at her, I was like, what was that? And it was the cop on the other side. And he just like, to see what type of vehicle we were driving. I don't really know. And so she's like, that's no problem. She's like, that's no problem. She gasses it. And she's like flying down the interstate. And I'm thinking to myself, if this cop catches up to us, he's going to know that we went significantly faster because he had to go a lot farther to catch us. She was like, don't worry. She's like, we're going to be good. And she was like gunning it. And we made it off the exit. And, you know, now I do realize that there are other ways we should have done that. It would have been much better.
Like safer?
Smarter.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we pull off and
was he pursuing you guys? Okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
He was. He comes off. He follows after us. She's like, don't worry. He's going to let us off. It's no problem. And I remember being like, this is not good because he knows how freaking fast we were going. He comes up to the vehicle and like she puts on the song and dance and bats her eyelashes. And I do not believe she got a ticket.
Was this J?
Yep.
Or K?
J. No. K didn't operate like that.
Did you say anything to the guy?
I really don't remember. I just remember being super nervous because I'm like, now I'm going to be late for my curfew. And now there's a cop pulling us over. And I don't know how this is going to go. And I think that was the first time I'd ever been pulled over.
It's a good youth group story. You know what I'm saying? You could tell the kids at youth group, hey guys, don't follow my bad example.
That's if I would tll that story.
Yeah, you guys got away. I'm sure you guys got away with a lot of murder.
I'm pretty sure he let us go.
I'd have let you go too. If you was in the car, I'd be like, yeah, sure, you good, Shorty, yeah. Wait, who's driving? You or Shorty?
No, I wasn't driving. She was driving.
Oh, I would have definitely given Shorty a ticket. Well, it depends on how you was looking at me. You see what I'm saying? I'd be trying to talk to you. I'd be like, listen, if you give me your number, I'll let you guys go.
A man in uniform?
You gotta shoot your shot. You know what I'm saying? I've got like a multitude of talents, so like getting that clip from the police
I would have
force.
given it to you. I would have given you my number.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
100%.
Here's one from Miscegenation.
I would have done that so fast. Plus, there would have been like so many like pluses to that.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you'd been coming up in your uniform with your authority, and you'd have been asking me for my number, and I bet you'd look really good in a uniform too. And then you would have been, well, when you're in a situation where you're with your friend and the person picks you,
Yeah,
the two of you,
yeah.
you know,
I'm sure that happened on a multitude of occasions.
I might have had some slight interest in people in your complexion.
Yeah, I'll be looking at the comments sometimes. These white folks get hurt sometimes, bro. Because you're so beautiful, you know, so they're like, you fucking mud shark! I guess a mud shark's a white girl that likes black dudes, I don't know.
Mud shark?
Yeah, I don't know, but we're having a lot of muddy kids too, bro.
I accept! I accept!
Shout out to Basilius.
Shout out to
Basilius.
Oh, man.
I was just going back and forth and poking fun at him. I was like, we're the original man. He tried to say that that like Lucy from Mesopotamia was a white lady. As soon as he did that, I was like, oh, white lady from Mesopotamia? Okay, all right. Shout out to Basilius.
That's what we're doing?
Shout out to Basilius. We're going to keep the miscegenation blues going for you, my brother. I got the blues.
Miscegenation blues.
I hate this nation. What entire nation? Guess what's happening? More miscegenation.
Fast lane, just like a jet plane, like a freight train. I'm driving insane, addicted to the fast lane, rush into my brain. No time to explain. This is my domain. Addicted to the fast lane.
If he wanted to, Dave could have done some rap metal. Like, no BS. Like, you know, Fred Durst was, I mean, who could be the boss? Looking to the cross, stranded in the land of the lost. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like this better than a lot of the shit that Fred Durst had. I've never had this inclination, though.
Wait, to do what? Drive fast?
To be like a completely crazy fast driver.
Really?
Yeah, like I'll drive. I will drive fast if there's like an objective, and if it's a time bound objective. But other than that, we got into a giant accident.
It's really dumb when you think about it.
We got into a giant accident when we were kids, and I think, you know, I
don't recommend it at all.
To be honest with you, I probably have PTSD from that car accident.
Yeah.
It's a pretty terrible one. It's just so much shit happened in our lives after that it's just like,
you got like kind of,
oh really, there's something else.
Your subconscious is like, ah.
Yeah, like.
I remember when I realized that, because I'm like, what is going on? Every time I drive, like, you have something to say about it. And then all of a sudden I realized, like, I've never been in an accident, so I actually kind of felt like offended, like, how dare you, say all this about my driving?
Yeah.
Then I pieced it together. I was like, wait a minute. He had a significant situation. That'll change you.
It was a pretty, like, and it was one of those things where, like, it got worse as you got older, because you start to hear about car accidents, and they were a lot less extreme than mine, and people ended up dead.
Well, your world completely changed after that.
Yeah, it did. My whole life changed after that.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. So it's not just the actual what happened in the vehicle, but the fallout also. So when you're like the PTSD or whatever you're feeling when I'm driving, I mean, I'm sure all of that comes in together without you actually thinking about it, the accident and everything, the way that things changed. So,
well, yeah.
I
think this is another thing where your environment really dictates a lot of, because like in Maine, there's black ice, there's that changeover from like fall into winter. That
you almost have to get used to it again.
That's what I'm saying. That 2-week stretch, like, you got to kind of, and a lot of accidents happen in that 2-week stretch when you're going from fall to winter, because like the roads are slick. You've got black ice, and you forgot that you need to drive whatever your normal is. You need to drive about five miles an hour below what you usually do.
And you need to start
during
hitting
that
your
time period.
brakes before you get there.
You have to be really strategic about your brakes and things like that. And so, like, once you get into the mindset,
Yeah.
you're good. You're pretty much good.
Yeah, but you have to
But
be in
that
that
2 week
mindset.
period from fall to winter, like, there's a lot of shit that goes
I mean,
bad.
this year, I don't
during
know
that
if you
period.
remember it, this past winter, I had gone out and the roads were completely trash. And right before I left, you said, make sure you take it easy, you're gonna need more break time and stuff like that. And like, initially when you say something like that, I'll be like, what, do you think that I'm a friggin' child? Like, I don't need you to tell me that. But then, it was in my head that you had said it, and sure enough, it was good that you said it.
I mean, yeah.
Because I got focused on something else, and then all of a sudden, like, it came back to me, like, when I needed to hit my brake, it came back to me, your voice saying that stuff, so I hit my brakes early, and I started sliding. I'm like, wow, I wonder if I'm going to stop, or if that bumper's going to stop me. And it wouldn't have been like, if I hadn't done, it would have been an accident for sure. I don't know how damaged anybody would have gotten, but there would have definitely been insurance situations, and oh my word. So yeah. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, but again, like, so I'm looking at these lyrics, and it's all about going fast, and I don't know, Mustangs probably in California, LA, where it's like,
yeah,
you know, you can pretty much gun it if you've got a straightaway, you can gun it. If you got a yellow light, you can gun it. In Maine, like, you got to do some negotiation. You know what I'm saying? And you really do. And so it's like, it's just very fascinating to me. Like, I don't think you're going to get a lot of songs like this coming from where we live, because like you when do you have that experience in Maine?
The other thing,
like, you got to be at some back. I mean, some back road somewhere with your friends and your, what do you guys call those? The ATVs and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I mean, the other thing too that you have it in Maine is that the roads are so bad that there's friggin' potholes that'll like send you into another life. Like, literally, they're really bad.
It's true.
And you don't know where they're gonna be or where the road is gonna do something weird.
People are always surprised.
And it sounds so bad when your car hits it. It's like, bang!
Yeah.
So loud.
Yeah,
there it goes. Front end alignment.
Maine is one of those. I didn't even know that this happened, but Maine is in debt to New York and to Boston for like $60 million.
What?
Because
Why?
we borrow from other states.
To be able for our...
Yeah, because that's how our infrastructure is crazy. Because what happens with kids, as soon as they make money, what do? They go to Florida or they go to California.
Yeah.
Or they go to Texas now. Texas is the big thing.
Yep.
So Maine has a very hard time of keeping talent, and then the median average is becoming older and older and older. You know, and those people are on pensions and retirement. They're not generating new revenues. So what are you going to do if you need to set up your infrastructure?
Yep.
So when you're coming from a state like that, okay, definitely the need for speed, all that shit is still there. It's just you're going to handle that shit differently because the environment, we don't have the money. So like if you're gunning it like 80 miles down and you run into one of those potholes, it's over with. It's over with.
And you're going to pay.
100%.
Like, you're going to ruin your vehicle and you will pay.
Yeah. And then they'll put you on the Sun Journal, and there's like 5 people in that state, so everybody's going to know he was on some dumb shit. So it's just crazy, man. It's just like, so I'm looking at this and I'm like, yo, this guy doesn't even know like how lucky he is to even be able to do this song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like that over here. And it's not that we don't have badasses who aren't scared. Like, we do. We got them just like everybody else. It's just literally impractical, man. But yeah, this was my favorite song musically speaking. It was the heaviest.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny because this one has 0 votes.
Well, I mean,
0%.
we didn't finish the thingy yet, but I mean, we still got the votes going down on the other page. Yeah, this was my favorite sonically. I love what they did.
Guys, I'm going to put the thing back in there. So click on that link and put your vote of which song you like the best.
Yeah, the rhythm part when with the solo was crazy. I always listen out for those because it's like, how in pop music it's like the verses don't really mean anything. You're just waiting to get to the chorus. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, like with the solo, the rhythm side doesn't really get developed a lot. People don't really care. They'll just repeat. Oh, they'll cut a riff in half like in the earlier and do it. And that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But one of the things I notice about Megadeth is when you listen to the rhythm section while the solo's going, he's invested in making sure that's a good riff as well. I'm not saying he's the only one that does it, but that is something that you miss a lot, especially with bands that feature a solo and feature good guitarists. That go listen to some Metallica solos. Like, they're not bad. It's just, Hetfield is doing some real basic shit. He's not really elevating because, and I get it to a degree because the when you're doing a solo, it's about the lead guitarist. It's not really about you as a rhythm guitarist, like adding your thing to it. So anytime I see a band like going crazy on both, I'm like, yes, because that's a deeper level of, because that's the lead guitarist saying, hey, that riff might still be so good that it overshadows my solo, but I'm still good with it because it makes the song better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of those, but I remember like reading my Kirk Hammett book when I first, got into Metallica, and Kirk was talking about how he wanted to prove himself during Justice for All. So he wanted to prove himself, and he's like, I was going to write the fastest, hardest solos, whatever. And, so he was feeling that kind of criticism just like everybody else was. But yeah, shout out to Dave Mustaine, man. Like every part of, like, he makes it so that like every part of the song, like you're not waiting to skip. You're not waiting for, I want to hear for the solo, or I want to hear for the whole song is good from start to finish. I really like this. This is my favorite one. 9.5 for me.
This is an even 9 for me. I think my favorite was 1320.
That was the song before, right?
Yeah. But I'm going to refresh this.
I think it's between 1320. To me, it's between the last song and the High Speed Dirt song.
Okay, it looks like High Speed Dirt 1. High Speed Dirt 1.
Well, there's only 4 votes total, though.
I mean, I wouldn't have announced that.
Well, can't we just refresh it? Like maybe announce it at the next thing?
What do you mean the next thing?
The next show? Like, hey, we did a poll.
Yeah, we can do whatever the fuck we want. This video is going to be out there on, both of the channels. Well, Patreon and, I mean, it's going to be around, so other people can vote. You guys, I'm going to leave, I mean, the poll is going to stay up. People can keep voting on it, so we can see. I'm not even sure exactly what DJ Ben was wanting from it. Like, maybe he wanted an answer right now, or maybe he wanted... Ben, what were you trying to do with this? Are you good with...
Ben is on Rumble. Let me see.
Are you good with, just keep checking the poll, because it's going to keep going up, I guess, as more people watch it.
Let's see what Benja says.
He wants us to vote as well. I wonder if I can click one here. I'm going to click this one.
Next show's tomorrow.
Oh, I just did. Can you click the link with your... click the link from there. See if you can...
It's a clickable link right there.
Yeah, see if you can click it and put a vote in. Yep.
Yeah, should be.
I just put mine in. I'm surprised they let me do that.
Oh my God. Is this what we did?
No. That's another one. That's so weird. So.
That's really interesting.
Is that? Oh, that's. No. Click on this one. That was Ben.
That was Ben. I was like, that's a weird one.
There you go. Click yours.
Okay. Which one do I want to... I'm going to go with this one. That's number 1.
Oh, you have to log in.
It's number 1. Numero uno. But is that the one you voted for?
No, I voted for 1320.
You voted for 1320 because you're not a Christian. Okay. Actually, here we go. 1320. No. Fastlane. I'm going Fastlane. You went to 1320.
Yeah.
Well, I think what's happening is that
we're signed in on the same thing.
We're the same person. So, you know what I'm saying?
So you just ditched mine?
Yeah, I just ditched yours.
How dare you?
Yeah. I voted for High Speed Dirt. You weren't even here to listen to High Speed Dirt.
Yeah, but he's obviously heard it in the past.
Yeah, because he came up asking for it.
Yeah.
I think High Speed Dirt's probably going to win.
You should never come that close to my face without kissing me again. How dare you?
All right, I won't kiss you. All right, there, listener. This
has been a fast stream.
This review went faster than these cards that were. What an interesting idea that he did. He took that same theme and then he broke it out over, multiple songs.
Dethroner. What do you mean you would have? Just go in there and vote.
I would have voted for the first one. Yeah,
Just click on the link.
That's got a clickable
He's
link.
on Restream. Can't you put it in the Restream chat? Here.
No. What do you mean the Restream chat?
Isn't there a Restream chat?
No.
Like when you go down there, like there's a Restream chat. Sometimes when you want to put it in, talk to people in Restream.
What are you talking about? Actual Restream? No, there's no chat in Restream.
No, there's a
That's Restream.
right there, Restream chat, right there,
You were kidding.
right there.
Do it.
I've seen you put stuff in a Restream chat. I don't know how you did it.
He's on YouTube or Twitter.
Well, if you go on Patreon, you'll be able to catch it.
Yes, you beautiful people, you shall be able to catch it. I like that. That
Ben decided to do this because we had a dark weekend. He said with the show series.
Oh man, guys, that we did. Ben was with us the whole time for that one too. We did. I keep calling it Poltergeist. It's not Poltergeist.
Midnight Mass.
It was Midnight Mass, and it was a show. It's a show, and it's got like 7 or 8 episodes of the show. And we did an entire marathon last week. Sat down, watched the whole thing start to finish. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was one of my favorite moments on the channel. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really enjoyed it. I liked being with everybody. I liked when we started at 3 p.m. Was it?
Yeah, 3 p.m.
We started at 3. Supposed to go for 7. We went for 9 hours because you know how we are. But oh man, I loved doing it, and I love being with everybody.
Oh, it was such a good time.
It was so fun being in it, knowing that we're all gonna have a protracted amount of time to hang out.
Yeah, I think that was kind of relaxing in a way because when we start streaming, you feel the inevitable end of the stream coming.
Right.
So with that, it was we're gonna watch another one. We're gonna watch another one. We're gonna watch another one. And so we knew that we were gonna be with each other for a big.
The story was developing.
Yeah, and it wasn't disturbingly scary either. It was nice.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And we kept stopping it and chatting a little bit.
Yeah. They kept the corny shit to a minimum. But sometimes horror things can be corny, but they did a really good job, in my opinion.
It didn't feel like horror either.
Yeah. The stream was the best watch-along stream, the most perfect one for this channel. The subject matter, the relatableness of Aaron character, the story. Yeah, there was a lot of...
Oh, Ben!
There was
shut
a lot
the fuck up!
Which one was the Aaron
That
character?
hard lady! The mean one!
Which one was she?
What do you mean, which one? She was the one that
became
the leader at the end, right?
No, that was Bev.
Oh.
That was Bev.
Oh, sorry. I
Aaron,
take that back.
No, you're such a weirdo.
I take that back.
That was Beth. Aaron was the she was a girl that survived, I think. Was it that Lisa? No, Lisa was the girl who survived.
Oh my god, Ben, which one was she?
Aaron I think was the wife. She got killed by the angel. Oh, spoiler, sorry. But yeah, she was the remember, and then she was in the boat with the dude. She was a teacher.
Oh.
She was in the boat with the dude, and the dude when the sun,
that lady.
When the sun hit him and he died, and that's when she figured it out.
Oh, well, Ben, I take that back.
Jeez. What's wrong with you?
Well, you know what it was? When I saw that Bev lady, I immediately was like, wow, that's like a version of me. Right there.
No. Alliance stream tomorrow, everybody. And
yes.
at Middle, one of Middle's selections got picked. So that should be interesting. That should be interesting. Listen, we will let you guys know the next time we're going to be doing a show like that. That's pretty cool. Obviously, that's contingent on you guys. We'll work on trying to help you guys crowdfund it or whatever. But yeah, that was fun. That was fun. I'm actually going to go back and listen to that, watch it again. Maybe. It was that fun. I had that much fun.
Yeah, it was such a nice. I enjoyed it.
All right, you beautiful people.
Especially now that I realize, you're not saying I'm Bev. All right, you guys. Thanks for coming through.
Bev is who you could have been. You could have been Bev.
Oh, okay.
In real life, but not. You know what I'm saying?
This is how I think that I would end up on the Bev path. 1, I don't have any children whatsoever.
Yep.
2, I don't get with you.
Okay.
And 3, I don't have any friends. I think that 4. I mean, obviously, if I'm not a Christian, because that would really
Oh, you don't think the Bev lady was a Christian?
No, I'm saying for myself. Like I
how
feel
you
like
could
that,
go to the
like
path
God
of
has a
Bethel.
way of like he softens me and I get like emotional about stuff because I'm sensitive toward the things of God and stuff like that. But I think if you take that out, you take you out of the picture, you take my children out of the picture. Like I think that I could be like a more stiffer person, like pull my hair and tie it into a bun. Anyway,
Oh, you told that lady like I don't want to be a virgin at 40 or whatever you told that lady. Is that
I
what you
said I
to her?
didn't want to be unmarried and 40 years old and unmarried. But I'll tell you,
And that bitch was like 42 and unmarried. Shout out to Sorry.
I didn't know she was that age. I wasn't really. This is the thing. I've said things like I was literally thinking about this yesterday. How many things I've said to people because I wasn't like thinking about who is this person that I'm talking to.
Because you were talking to homegirl.
Yeah, but the thing
who
is,
who never has any awareness of who she's talking.
I will say, like, she was like woman 1000 that was coming after me for my clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And the clothes that I was wearing cargo capris and a t-shirt. And she was saying, you can't wear this, blah, blah, blah. And then she was going off on her assumptions of what was going on. And I said, yeah, but the thing is, I don't want to be like 40 years old and unmarried. So I was telling her, like, I recognize
I don't want to be like you, bitch.
I recognize this is a strength of mine and I'm going to use it. That's what I was basically saying. And she was like, I saw her face and she was like, I'm 40. Whatever.
Oh, she told you?
Yeah, she said it right there.
She said it?
Oh, gosh. Like, oh my God. And then I always say the dumbest things.
Yeah,
like
but how are you supposed to respond to that? It's not like you knew that she was 40 or whatever. If it was me, I'd have been like, well, I don't want to be like you, bitch.
The thing is, she was a really miserable person.
So
if I would have just said, yeah, and you're friggin' miserable.
Yeah, you're unhappy. So I don't want to be like you. You know what
that
I'm
was
saying?
it. She really didn't like me after that. She went out of her way to make my life miserable. That's how I got stuck alone because they kept the men and the women separate. And we were in a place where they did not speak my language. So the only people I could talk to were people on my team.
They literally couldn't speak her language.
And the team was all men except for her. So if she wasn't there hanging out with us, I couldn't hang around with the guys. So I spent a significant amount of time like alone in solitary confinement. It was really like my chest literally felt tight as I said that because it was really terrible for me.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. All's well that ends well.
Did it though?
I think it ended pretty well for you.
Pretty sure she's still single.
Oh well, I mean, I don't know. I got, I don't know.
And I got this guy saying he's not gonna kiss me. So you better have been teasing me. What the fuck? All right, we gotta go. Vin's gonna start kissing me.
Vin out.
Sorry.
Gone. I'm not gonna do that.
Why would you say that?
I don't want people's fucking having shit in there. You don't understand how dudes work, man?